today I am going to teach you about nervous system. Nervous system are the command center of our body. Command center means they send messages back and forth between the brain and other parts of the body. Okay. So the nervous system include brain, spinal cord and other complex networks of nerves. And neuron are the functional unit of this nervous system. Don't confuse the term neuron and nephron. Nephron is the functional unit of the kidney and neuron is the functional unit of the nervous system. Okay. Let's see the parts of neurons in detail. So this is the structure of neuron. This is the functional unit of the nervous system and it consists of a cell body. Okay. This cell body consists of nucleus. We all know that the nucleus consists of genetic materials like DNA, and around the nucleus we are able to see cytoplasm. The cytoplasm consists of other cell organelles. Okay. The branches that arises from the cell bodies are called dendrites. So the function of the dendrites is to carry impulses from external environment to the cell body. Okay. And this nerve, the long nerve fiber that extends from the cell body is called axon. This axon, sometimes it may be covered with myelin sheath, sometimes it may not. Okay. If the axon is covered with myelin sheath, then it is called a myelinated neuron. If it is not covered with myelin sheath, it is called a non-myelinated neuron. So this is the one of the classification of neuron. So classification is classification based on the myelin sheath. Okay, if myelin sheath is present means it is called a myelinated neuron. If it is not present means it is called a non-myelinated neuron. So this myelin sheath helps to transmit impulses very fastly through the neurons. Okay, and this myelin sheath is produced from the Schwann cell. And here we are able to see a conical projection between the cell body and axon is called the axon hillock. Okay, at the junction of the cell body and axon, here we are able to see a conical projection. This one is the conical projection and this is called the axon hillock. Here also we can see axon hillock. Okay, here in both sides in bipolar neuron, here in both sides we are able to see this axon hillock. Okay, and this axon again branched and form axon terminal. Okay. Axon terminal consists of axonite and synaptic knob. The synaptic knob means a bulb-like projection that's seen at the end of the axonite. This synaptic knob consists of so many neurotransmitter-filled vesicles. This neurotransmitter-filled vesicle will release into the synapse. Synapse means the junction or the space between the presynaptic neuron and postsynaptic neuron. This is the presynaptic neuron and this one is the postsynaptic neuron. So the impulses from the presynaptic neuron want to transmit to the postsynaptic neuron. This one is the postsynaptic neuron. So the impulses will the impulses are transmitted across the neuron with the help of the action potential. Okay. After reach here, the impulses will move to the synapse and then to the dendrites of the adjacent neuron. Okay. Here, the impulses are in the form of electrical signals. In the synapse, it will be in the form of chemical signals. And again, it transmit to the adjacent neuron. In that neuron, it will be in the form of electrical signals. So this transmission will take place with the help of neurotransmitters like acetylcholine, serotonin, epinephrine, norepinephrine, etc. Okay. These are the examples of neurotransmitters that present in the neurons. Okay. So this one is the presynaptic neuron and this one is the postsynaptic neuron. Inside the synaptic knob, synaptic vesicles will be there that consist of neurotransmitters. And these are the classifications of neurons based on its structure. This one is the unipolar neuron. Unipolar neuron means it consists of one cell and the axon arises from the one pole of itself. Okay. This one is bipolar because this axon is arising from the two pole of its cell. And this one is multipolar. In this multipolar neuron, we are able to see one long axon and so many dendrites arising from its cell body. Okay. This is the classification of neuron based on its structure, and also myelinated and non-myelinated neurons are also will be there based on the presence or absence of myelin sheath. Okay, and based on the function we can classify the neurons into sensory neurons and motor neurons. Sensory neurons means the neurons which carry impulses from the organ to the brain. Okay, which means eye. For example, I give stimulus. Okay, that stimulus is carried by the sensory neuron to the special part of the brain. Okay, and the brain will process the information and give responses through the motor neuron, and the response will reach the eye, and after that be able to see the image. Okay, that is called a sensory and motor neuron. So the sensory neuron means the sensory input carried by the neuron that carries sensory input to the brain or spinal cord. Spinal cord is called a sensory neuron, and motor neurons means the information or response carried from the brain or spinal cord to the organ is called a motor neuron. And the sensory neuron and motor neuron is connected by other type of neuron that is called a interneuron or connecting neuron. So the connecting neuron helps to connect the sensory neuron and motor neuron. So sensory neuron carry impulses or messages or stimulus from the external environment, okay, to the brain or spinal cord, and the information will process there and it produce responses, and this response carried by the motor neurons to the special to the organ, to the different part of the body. And this sensory neurons and motor neurons are connected by what? In the connecting neuron or interneurons. Hope you understand this class.